You can love someone deeply but still end up resenting them over money. I've seen couples who were perfect emotionally but polar opposites financially, and no amount of romance could fix it. If you want a soft life after I do, you need to ask these 6 questions. Hi there, welcome once again to your favorite digital conversation, which is the Mindscale. Yeah, I called it a conversation because it's me talking to you, and I get to get your feedback, I know, in the comments in most cases. So welcome once again to another episode of Mindscale. Before I get right into the juice, it's a reminder that you could kindly remember to click the subscribe button. Doing so will not just help me reach more people, but also help you be the first person to know when next I drop a video. So also turn on post notifications to ensure that that is the case. So click the subscribe button and also follow. Thank you so much. I'm waiting. Have you done that? Thank you. Now let's get right into the juice. Without further ado, it was James Baldwin who said, "Money doesn't change people, it reveals them." This is so true, because many a times we think that people change when they have a given amount of money or when they're finally prosperous. No, they don't change. It's always been there. Those proclivities and inclination to behave a certain type of way has actually always been in that person, but it just takes money in many cases to reveal it. And this is important because it's a tricky case, particularly if you're about to make the journey to picking a life partner and you're just wondering, saying, yo, I don't want to take the foot wrong. I don't want to take a wrong step. What do I do? Well, one thing I can tell you for sure is there are certain conversations that could be pointers as to what to expect. I'm saying this because I'm sure it's even proven statistically, right? I don't have the stats to show you now, but I'm 100% sure that it can be backed and proven that in most cases, right, couples become a lot more affluent than they were before marriage. Because typically people get married in their 20s and they're still growing. They've never really risen over the corporate ladder or grown professionally or built success or done real estate and so many more things. And so people are really still relatively younger. And so how then can I know how he will behave when he has money when he doesn't have the money now? Anyways, these questions will be perfect pointers to this. But before I get into the questions, I need to say a particular statistic that is pretty damning. According to Ramsey Solutions in 2021, based off the research that they did, it showed that money fights are the second leading cause of divorce, only behind infidelity. I take it again. Money fights are the second leading cause of divorce, only behind infidelity. So guys, this is a very interesting conversation and one that ought to be had. But let's get to the juice and the thick of it. What are the 6 questions that you need to ask that can reveal and let you know exactly what to look forward to, or that can reveal your spouse's or your potential spouse's financial orientation? Let's start with number 1. Ask the question, what is your financial orientation? This is important. We all are products of our upbringing, and particularly the family. The family is the smallest unit in society, but it's still the primary agent of socialization. Every single person turns out to be a certain type of way based off how they were socialized within the family. When you see a man act a certain type of way, chances are that he saw his dad do that, or that he saw his mom behave in a similar way. So no one just wakes up and splurges cash. No, there must have been traces of ostentatious spending and extraordinarily exorbitant money moving within a particular family. They learned it. They were taught from somewhere. And so ask the question, what's your financial upbringing? What's it like? Were you trained or raised to survive? Were you raised to save? Or were you just raised to spend money anyhow? And so you need to discuss. You must discuss money traumas. You must discuss mindset issues. You must discuss class differences. How were you raised? What were the orientations like in your home? How did your parents handle finances? Did they just splurge cash hoping that tomorrow will be good, or did they plan for the future? You need to have this conversation, and it's very important. The second question is, do you have any debts or obligations that I should know about? This is important. Now, this shouldn't even be a question, particularly with people who are in love. But I'm asking this because a whole lot of people do not reveal certain parts about themselves. This is serious, particularly in this generation. There's a stat that shared that about 41% of Gen Zs and millennials say that they've kept financial secrets from their partners. This statistic is by creditcards.com. I think it was in the year 2022 they conducted that research. So it's fresh, just 3 years ago. About 41% they kept financial secrets. I've seen cases where people get married and then find out that their partners were actually in debt. In many cases, I would say this is more on the men than the women, because many men try to sometimes fake and feign financial stability, and some even end up borrowing money to fund the wedding without letting the spouse know that they were never really capable in the first place. Ask questions. If he thinks you're a bit too intrusive, I don't know. I deserve the right to know what are the debts or obligations. Are you owing and maybe you are supposed to pay back? Did you take a loan for something? Let us know. It's very important. You can never be too inquisitive in the spirit of love, because it's a very important decision. You're about to get married to someone, and so you could be FBI for all I care. I don't care, but ask the right questions. It's important. I read a statistic by I think it was CNBC about 2 years ago. They released a stat that said about 54% of Americans have hidden bank accounts that their partners do not know of. Do I take that again? 54% of Americans have hidden bank accounts that their partners do not know of. Make of this what you can. Ask that question today. Before you get married, ask your partner, are you owing anybody? Who are you owing? What loan is left to still pay? Ask. The third question, which is key, is, what does financial freedom mean to you? This is important because financial freedom means different things to different people. And I need to say this once again. We're different people. We're cut from different cloth. For some people, financial freedom to them is having a car, renting a house, and being able to afford 3 square meals, which is fine. For some other people, it's different. For some other people, financial freedom means being able to splurge and lavish and be on the beach in Ibiza and affording pizza in Ibiza and owning or flying private jets to Dubai. That's financial freedom to them. Whatever the case is, ask. Because first and foremost, we have different drives. We have different willpower metrics. We have different things that appeal to people. I've seen some people who are a lot more conservative materially, right? And they're just fine and good with some money. But if you have a partner who doesn't see financial freedom in the same way that you do, there could be a problem. And the person may be pushing you for more and telling you must do this more, and then you're like, you can't understand that you're fine and you're sufficient. So you need to clarify, are we aiming for stability or abundance? What are we aiming for? What's the plan? What's the plan? Ask. Don't get tired of asking. Is $1,000 okay for you, or would it be $100 million, which is sufficient for you? Number 4, how do you handle financial pressure or emergencies? Now, this one is so important. I think sometimes it's even maybe gender related. I think many times for many men bottle up and try not to share the financial issues with their spouses. They try to keep things because they always want to look as though the home front is fine on their own end. And sometimes they end up borrowing, sometimes they're in debt, sometimes they have issues, sometimes they don't say what exactly it is that they are going through. But it's a major problem. One that many of them never discuss. In fact, that's one of the things that could even lead some men into depression, which in the end is a major cause of deeper issues. And so, how do you handle financial pressure? When you're pressured on many sides, how do you handle it? Do you discuss it with me? Do we come together to look for a solution? Or do you just go haywire and try to form like you know everything? These are questions you must ask. Very important. How do you sort out emergencies? Do you go around borrowing from every other person apart from myself? Do you talk to me? Will you talk to me when there are issues? What's the issue? We will come together and make quality decisions financially for the family. Or do you just, under any financial pressure, go and break the family savings just to suit your personal needs? Ask questions. Question number 5. Will we combine finances or keep them separate? This one is a very interesting conversation because different people have different opinions of it. I've seen some spouses who believe in joint accounts, like 100% joint accounts. Some don't believe in it at all. Some keep totally separate accounts. Okay, I'll tell you what works for myself and my wife, for example. We do both, right? You have your separate accounts, yes, but we also have one where we try to keep joint savings or maybe joint investments. It's important, right? We take on some projects together, then we do some also individually. So yeah, is there going to be a balance? What's for you? What works for you? I've seen some people who go, you know what? No. My money is our money, 100%. Do it together, put it in a pool of funds, and we spend it all together. No issues. Do what suits you, and ensure you're doing it with the right person. Understand the person's persuasions about these issues. As the person may be seen or known someone who has been burnt about, maybe someone close to the person, ask these questions. Understand, investigate it, realize how important these things are. Okay, I always recommend separate and then joint. There should be some form of joint savings, but then also I think you should have separate accounts. Separate accounts help you pursue your own financial escapades on your own. You get what I'm saying? You can save your money the way you want it, do this the way you want it, do anyhow the way you want it, give people, because I think if everything is joint, it means so many alerts, right? You can't maybe just give someone some money or just do something free or whatever it is without everybody getting a buzz and stuff, or without stressing the other person maybe to get an approval or something from the person. So I would advise or advocate for both, right? But once again, do what works for you, do what works for your relationship. Have the conversation. Don't assume. Many times women assume, men assume, everybody assumes my money, we spend it, our money we spend. Throughout your lives, you go through different financial journeys personally, right? If the woman starts earning more at any point in life, is her money still our money? If the man continues to earn more, what's the plan? Have a plan. I beg you, have a plan. Discuss it. The final question: are there family members who rely on you financially now or possibly in the future? And if so, what kind of support do you give them and how often? This is important. One of the main issues that leads to divorce is family pressure. And many of these family pressures are actually rooted in financial obligations, particularly with the issue of black tax, which is actually very prevalent in African societies. I'll give you a very interesting example. I mean, I've heard so much. I've heard cases where maybe a young man, particularly, this one happens a whole lot in the region I'm from, and then the region, the country I'm from, and then a particular region in the country, maybe not necessarily my region, where maybe an entire family comes together and they pool resources to send a particular child to school, while the others don't get that privilege and maybe just do some farm work or do some more menial labor, and then all the resources are put into one particular child's fees and education and all good stuff, and then the child comes out from school flying colors, gets a great job, and the child chooses to get married. Now imagine that person's wife is a me and my husband and I person. And then that's all you're doing. Me, my husband and I, me, my husband and I, me, my husband and I, me, my husband and I. And then he's got family members, ones that he's sworn financial obligations to. What do you do? First and foremost, you have to think rationally. Understand that to whom much was given, right? Much has been expected. In fact, the reason you are able to see him and love him is because other people pulled resources to be able to send him to school. So it's tricky. There's never really a one size fits all in this conversation. You say, oh no, them the family, them the family, them the family. If they lay curse on your husband, it will catch him and catch you. And so understand the family dynamics. Are you comfortable with it? If it upsets you, how about just letting him go? This is important because if he's the breadwinner of a family of 8, 6 children and 2, and maybe one mother also, or maybe an extra person also, bro, you are in for it, because the resources that naturally should flow only to your children and to yourself are now going to be shared across board. And I hope you are aware, and I hope you are fine with it. Also, beyond financial obligations, also you need to understand the family dynamics, because the younger brother might come to the house to sleep. The younger brother and the younger sister might both of them get admission in the same city that you are both in, and they want to live in that place. Are you okay with it? Because also a financial obligation. Now you're no longer planning for yourself, your husband, and the 2 children you have, but now 2 extra mouths, and sometimes even much more than that. Are you comfortable with this reality? Discuss it. Ask him, what type of support do you give? Do you pay their rent? If so, how often? Who do you give pocket money? If so, how often? Just so your husband or your wife also, because women are very empathic at heart, and they just want to love, and many times they like to give stuff also. Understand from your family, my love, what's happening? Who are you giving stuff, and what? When are you giving it? Ask questions. You will never get tired of asking questions. In fact, you will never go wrong asking questions. It's important, because the more knowledgeable you are about this lifelong journey you're about to step into, the better. I really do hope that this video has been impactful one way or another to you. If it really has, do not hesitate to press the like button, and also subscribe, follow, right? And also turn on your post notification. Do so. I'm waiting. All right. And do not forget to share this with a friend. Someone you know is about to get married, or someone you know is in a very serious romantic relationship and is going to get married in a not too distant time from now. This video could be life-saving. Till the next one, thank you so much. I'm Olushola. See you in the next episode of Mindscale.